Hello. Okay. So today we've got a double Joe case. Both codes were given to me by ID at Xbox for streaming purposes. Hi Leaky. The first one up is A Painter's Tale. Its full title is A Painter's Tale, Curon, or Curon, 1950. I'm assuming that's a location. It's developed by Monkey's Tales Studio and published by Fantastico Studio. Came out on June 6th and is available on Xbox, PC, Steam and Switch. It's £5.99, hi Mr. Corners, or $6.99. A Painter's Tale, Curon 1950 is a story about love and resistance, an adventure game about historical memory. The bell tower that comes out of the lake is the last memento of the old village of Curon, flooded by the waters of Lake Russian in 1950 due to the construction of a dam, despite the protests of the citizens. The plans for the dam started during the fascist era, opposing the interests of a big industrial group to the well-being of the villagers, who were forced to leave their homes and pastures. The main character of the game is a painter visiting today's Curon, Venosta, the new village built after the flooding. The painter is dragged into the lake by a mysterious woman and wakes up in the past, in the old village of Curon as it was before the flooding. Around him, the villagers witness the tragic event at the time. The Painter's Tale, Curon 1950 is not a documentary, but a tale where history and fiction overlap. So that sounds really cool. It's an Italian studio, and it was developed in collaboration with the Italian video game program. Uh, 15 achievements. Some of which are missable in the sense that you have to do things and they're not just automatically in the story, but the completion estimate is 1 to 2 hours, so not really missable in the sense that you could just replay if you know where things are. But we're going to do an explore. Till 1/2 past the next hour-ish, have a break, and then move on to the next game. I decided that it was just easier doing 2 games in a Joe case, because otherwise I just didn't get a chance to... Well, I got an hour and an hour wasn't... So it looks like we've got some things to collect, which is great. It's an odd... Okay, I run as RB, okay. Seems to be an odd mixture between sort of a painty style, a realistic style, and a weird blocky character style. So I'm curious to... That's like the screenshots I've seen have been all 3 different things. So I'm curious to see... this. Fair are the mountain streams flowing down to the valley, drowning out the last memories. It looks pretty. And it's the weekend, and I'm tired. But I've done a couple of vaguely productive things today, so therefore I feel the weekend's not been a waste. And if I complain that the weekend's already over tomorrow, remind me I did some productive things, so it's all okay. And I checked all my 360 games were downloaded, and I had the DLC for the ones that weren't backwards compatible in preparation for the shutdown next year. And I've been playing through Sherlock Holmes to get my 1 missing achievement. Alright, allora, where do I start? I block out the mountains. I had to slow down and find new perspectives. Change direction, maybe. Find myself, my true self, maybe even start painting again. The lake. I was sinking. Day after day, the same boring routine, but something was dragging me down. I think I need to pause, to breathe again. Focus on my passions, on my real desires. The bell tower. I don't think I need anything. Actually, they say I'm still young. I have a stable life and a good job, love. Ups and downs for sure. Molto bene. Yeah, it's like this really odd disconnect. It's like little Minecraft characters. Ah, guten Morgen, meine Herr. Guten Morgen? Buongiorno, Signore. Haben Sie gesehen, wie schön es heute draußen ist? Have you seen how pretty? I don't know, the scenery ist. Anscheinend sehen aber Wolken auf, also konnte es regnen. Cool. Yeah, those are words that are in German. Italiana? It was set to be English, so yeah. That guy just spoke some German and I'm Italian. Some hours later. Pretty. The weather is changing. I have to hurry. Finish the painting. Yeah. How's everyone's weekend started off? Ooh, shiny. Where is that light coming from? Backpack. Blah. Anything? I feel quite satisfied, but I've done a lot better in the past. New painting added. Ooh, bench. I could sit down. It looks like it might rain now. This must be Switzerland. If we've got Italian and German speaking people, and the signs are in both, this is the German-Italian side of Switzerland. You also speak French and English, depending on which side you're in, and how much of a foreigner you want to be. I certainly needed a location like Lake Convention to relax. I've been to the French bit of Switzerland. What? I've visited Lausanne quite often, which is where my friend lives, and I believe Lady Magritte is familiar with that area. Trying to walk. Thank you. I was going to say, trying to walk somewhere where the you're getting so far away you can't see where the hole in the fence is. That's quite interesting. I do like Switzerland. Switzerland is a beautiful place. That is very blindy white. Monkey's Tales Studio. I don't know what that is in Italian. Italian video game program. Ooh, a mermaid. Present. Again, fine. Andrea Dreseno, Matteo Lolini, Matteo Rodolfi, in collaboration with Sofia Abatangelo. Apologies if I butchered that. I think I said them with an appropriately continental accent. Music by Ascari. I know a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of Italian. I think I accidentally moved across my Xbox thing. There's like a little line on the side. A Painter's Tale, Curon, 1950. I'm just gonna... Oh, no, it's fine. That's weird. That was just obviously on just that bit of the credits. Act 1. I've not moved it across. That was just odd that there was a little line down the side that I think I can see that on my TV. Anyway, what happened to me? Where am I? Oh, mein Gott! You woke up at last. How did I end up here? Scusa, I'm a little bit confused. Did I end up here? I don't know what happened. I found you unconscious at the edge of town, soaking wet, and I brought you here. You slept for 2 days. Father Alfred was worried about you. But I haven't introduced myself. How rude of me. My name is Ida. I got a new drawing. I'm Tomasco. Sono Tomasco. Nice to meet you. The pleasure is mine. Hi, Sekalid. Maybe it's a bit improper, you know, because I'm a married woman, but Father Alfred asked me to take care of you until you were fully recovered. I'm wearing my underwear. Forgive me, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Would you please tell me where my clothes are? Your clothes? They're wet and dirty. I washed your stuff, but I still have to iron it. You can use my husband's clothes. We look the same size. They're in the closet upstairs in our bedroom. Your husband? Could your husband take this the wrong way? No, my husband has always helped those in need. Okay. Country. Stop walking around in your underwear, bitte schön. Go dress yourself. Danke. Oh, look at this. I really get the feeling that something just happened. He seems lost in thought as she is leaving. Did they have a fight? B. I like this painting. It has a melancholic tone. A canvas waiting to be painted. Look at this. It must be a sketch for a painting. This must be their bed. One of the sides is carefully made. It seems it hasn't been used for a while. I wonder what happened to her husband. Her husband's clothes must be there. We're basically going for a vaguely chill Joe case today. Look, they fit perfectly. Maybe just a little bit old-fashioned. Yes, well, the blurb said we'd gone back to 1950, so that's to be expected. And where is he now? Upstairs, getting dressed. I couldn't let him walk around town with those old clothes. I wonder where he found them. Ida. Did you give him Carl's clothes? Should I not have done that? I thought it was the right thing to do. Do you think it's inappropriate, Father? Oh, good. I see you were on your feet, my son. Do you remember anything? How did you get here? You won't believe it, but a strange light dragged me into lake. A light? What are you talking about? You are confused, my son. A warm meal and some sleep and your memory will come back in no time, you'll see. It's just a pity you arrived at such a difficult moment for our town. Anyway, I don't want to stress you out with our problems. Come to the church later, we will talk properly. Grazie, father, I will. Auf Wiedersehen. Are you hungry, Tomasko? Please, take some speck and cheese from our pantry. Meanwhile, I'll put some bread on the table. Ooh, speck is a type of ham. Or it is literally just the German word for ham. I don't know whether there's an achievement for looking at all the paintings, but yes. Oh, Tyrol! Look, a tradition South Tyrolese. The Tyrol is where my favourite book series is set. The Chalet School. Whose main character is also called Joe. I really liked that one growing up. Hi, Havor! And it's one place that I've never really had a chance to visit properly. One of these days, I will. I will make it up to those particular Alps. I'm not a big one for travelling. It's a traditional South Tyrol fun, a Masso, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, Sir Khalid, you have redeemed the code. Bear with me a moment, and I will send you that one. There's a woman in the painting, maybe Ida. Right. Oh, we'll have a look at our notebook in a minute. Let me just whisper the code to yourselves. Yeah, I thought I'd try something different with the whole, giveaway thing. And reward people that watch the stream quite a lot. Wait, nope, that's not Twitch. There we go. That I've built up channel points. Spur. Enjoy. It's a really cool game. I really enjoyed it. Well, if I don't do it now, then I'll forget. So I've whispered the code to you, Sir Khalid. There we go. Link is complete. So yeah, it is. It's got a really cute little story. Side quests and stuff. Ooh, we've got some history. And yeah, it just seems nice and chill as a game. Yeah, it's one of those things, it's like, that's why I changed it to say you can post it on any social media where you have a decent following. Because, yeah, Twitter's dead. So I have a lot of different social media things across various platforms. So whichever one you're used to using that you have people following you on is good for the social media shout out. So yeah, thanks. I don't know. It's really hard because I'm missing out on a whole bunch of gaming news because I don't know where the gaming news is now. I'm sad that Twitter has been destroyed, to be fair. But anyway, okie dokes. A bell tower sticks out of the water of Lake Russian. The lake was created by the planned flooding of the old town of Curon and the surrounding valley in the summer of 1950. The process began during the fascist period and pitted the interests of a large industrial group against the willpower of the townspeople, who obviously did not want to give up their homes. The new town of Curon, Venosta, the Italian name of Graun im Vinchgau, is a welcoming and bucolic crossing point between Austria and Italy. Ah, okay, we're not in Switzerland then. That makes sense. Austria and Italy, also German and Italian. I mean, X is such a bad name, yes, I know. Don't get me started. That constantly preserves its own past. Its story is made up of contrasts and difficult coexistences. It is a place halfway between the past and the present. When the flood happened, the majority of people were forced to relocate further away. Only a few could stay close to the shores of the lake. That is really sad. So we've got some drawings. Ida, oops. Father Alfred, and Curon 2020. You go for Recitera. Oh, right, okay, cool. Yeah. Mostly, I guess I just use TA, but it's just not the same as, you know, following a bunch of indie devs. I've got, you know, Blue Sky and stuff. Things like that, but it's just, yeah, I've just not really found somewhere that replicates. Ooh. Hatchloffen. It's nice and warm here. New story added. Excellent. Okay, ground shelf seems to have some cheese. Medium shelf, lovely smell. Here's the spec shelf. Something interesting. Strudel and wine, mouth-watering. Yeah, it's an interesting graphical style. Come, Sean, bring the speck and cheese here and sit down. Come on, I also have some freshly baked strudel, and some Langrein. Good wine makes good cheer. Okay. But yeah, it's like, you know, everywhere else is vaguely, you know, federated, dissipated, and yeah. I don't know, it's probably good not spending hours scrolling, but, you know, I miss it. Che delizia. I have never tasted a strudel so good. And this wine, I really needed that. Everything's so good. Danke. I am very pleased. I'm glad you got your appetite back. Well, he's not eaten for 2 days. Excuse my asking, I'm a painter as well. I saw an easel and some paintings on the wall. Did you paint them? Oh, definitely not. To be honest, I don't know how to use a paintbrush at all. It's my husband, Carl. Do you like them? They are fascinating. Indeed, I like them. Are you the one in the painting? Yes, I am. I have never fully understood his passion for painting, to be honest, and I can't usually sit on my hands. But when he asks me to pose, I can't say no. He seems so happy, so serene when he paints. It's not easy for Carl. To be a painter, I mean. Few people understood his art here. If it weren't for the hotel manager Einrich letting him display his paintings at the hotel, my husband would be a stockman now, like his father and brother. Sometimes a guest offers to buy one of his landscapes. However, there's one painting Heinrich has never wanted to sell. You could go to the hotel and take a look if you want. Tell Heinrich I sent you. Thank you, I certainly will. Good. I'm really glad. By the way, I'd like to thank you very much for hosting me and taking care of me. I definitely feel better now. I'm going to get a room at the hotel. I don't want to abuse your kindness. There's no way Father Alfred would kill me. With all the sermons about charity he delivers every Sunday, and Carl, he won't forgive me for not giving help to someone in need. Italians, Germans, it makes no difference to him. Not everybody feels the same way here, unfortunately. Your husband must be a very generous man. Yes, he is. He's an incredible man. It seems you are definitely feeling better. Do you feel like taking a walk? I need to iron now. Then I have to prepare the salmon knödel. Ah, you men are always in the way during housework. Speaking of which, could you please run to the inn and pick up some cheese? Tell the innkeeper to put it on Ida's bill. Sure, we can do that. It's fun. We have a new objective. And also we got the Stube. A Stube is a farmhold kitchen typical of the Alto Adige region, the true focal point of the house. Not surprisingly, the Italian noun stufa and the English stove take their names from the Stube. In the olden days, the Stube warmed up the main room in the house where everyday life took place and friends and guests were welcomed. The core element of the Stube is the stove, the vertically oriented Kartoffeln and the horizontally oriented Bauernofen. The Kartoffeln is often decorated in Italian maiolica, displaying finely crafted floral motifs. Inhabitants of Alto Adige gathered around these vital sources of warmth for generations. If these stoves could talk, we would have countless stories and legends to listen to. It's cool. Oh, there was another one. Okay, so we need to buy cheese. The cuisine of South Tyrol is Tyrol? Never quite sure. Oh god, that looks so tasty. Is a rich combination of traditions from both Austria and Trentino. It includes many meat dishes, among which stands out the famous goulash. However, the cured meat is most often associated with Alto Adige is speck, an ingredient that represents the centerpiece of many South Tyrolean snacks, frequently accompanied by bread, cheese, and wine. There is also knödel, the typical bread gnocchi, made in many variations, and if you are hungry for dessert, you could always try a delicious strudel. Val Venosta's apples deserve special mention too, as they are a real pride of the region. Common since Roman times, apples are the most cultivated fruits in Alto Adige now. Nice. Okay. There's a slightly disturbingly large cross in the corner of that room. Good morning, sir. Have you seen the nice weather today? Good morning. Hey, we already know each other. They say it'll get cloudy soon. Is that the German guy? Why, it's the old man I met by the lake. Now, though, I'm able to understand him. The frescoes are very nice. Must have been Carl who painted them. I got a bloop. A new beginning. Start your trip to Curon. Bell tower. I think I already saw it somewhere. The situation in Curon is becoming worrying. This has been going on for too many years now, Leda. They're waiting for me at the inn. There's nothing better than a good beer to cheer up. There are now workers everywhere, verdammt. And who are you, another stranger? Okay. Why does Father Alfred like Ida take a perfect stranger home? A man to boot. Doesn't he understand that a single woman with a man in the house leads to nothing good? Priests today just aren't what they used to be. Guten Morgen, Herr. Hell, have you seen that Italian? Will it be him? Ah. Okay, bloop. Meet the gossipers. Cool. Introduce yourself to the 3 grannies of the village. This is the inn. Okay, just bear with me a moment. I'll be right back. Sorry, I just need to take a very short break. Sorry about that. I am back. Okay, so we need to go to the inn and get the cheese. We're doing that. We've got a Upper Fischengau. Hang on. Upper Fischengau Valley Museum. The frescoes adorning Ida's house are not imaginary, but belong to a building in the old Curon that was destroyed before the flooding. Painted by Antoni Jäger, the frescoes were saved nevertheless and today exhibited at the Altafel Venosta Museum, hosted inside the former town hall of Curon Venosta. The museum contains numerous photographs and objects that depict life in the villages of Curon and Razia before, during, and after the flooding. In one of the rooms can be found a scale model of the village of Curon, which has proved invaluable in digitally recreating the scenarios that are the backdrop of the video game A Painter's Tale. The museum undoubtedly deserves a visit. Getting lost among the photographs is like taking a journey into the memories of the past to discover the history of the area. The museum also stores sacred objects from the churches of surrounding towns, as well as old rural equipment. Maybe I will take a visit at some point. Newspaper. I don't understand a word of what's written. Date. 1949. Is it an antique newspaper? That's weird. What is this? I don't know. You tell me. Occupied. Occupado. Buongiorno, compa. Grazie. There was a radio. Run away. There it. Oh. Music time. Choose background music in the end and the first act. In the 50s, so we're talking after the war. Good morning. What would you like, beer or coffee? Coffee, I suppose. Coffee. A coffee, please. Meine Schatza. Coffee for the gentleman. An espresso? I brought the cafe machine last month. We're the only inn of the area to have one. There's your espresso, and here, a slice of my strudel to go with the coffee. Thank you. We've got no money. It's a very fancy coffee machine. You know, it wasn't easy for my husband to learn how to make a coffee that would satisfy the workers. We're not used to drinking it much, but we can't complain at all. With all the coffee they drink, we make good money, right, meine Schatz? How come there are so many workers in town? What, you don't know? They're building a dam. They will flood our best pastures. My husband is desperate. Isn't that right, meine Schatz, that you're desperate? Clearly a man of few words. Sorry, I almost forgot. Mrs. Ida asked me to bring her some cheese. Oh, then you must be Ida's guest. My husband and I are happy to see she's finally better. Aren't we, meine Schatz? The cheese is there on the counter. Please help yourself. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Ida has an open account here, you know, because of poor Carl. Poor Carl? What does that mean? Maybe he's ill. Make yourself at home and take a seat if you want. Thanks. Jeez. I can't decide if that... I assumed this was a guy and has a husband, but this is 1950. Assuming it's a gay couple seems... I don't know. I'm just going to... Yeah. I'm not really quite sure what to do with that piece of information. It's the character models, I guess. I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna have my little fantasy that it is a progressive gay couple owning an inn in Curon in 1950. Move along, please. What are they hanging? I have a bad feeling about it. I really hope I'm wrong. Das ist besser Schürze. School. What's all this commotion? It seems like I'm back to when I taught German secretly. Where are you going? You can't enter school during lessons. Oh, sorry. Oh, the coup! The wolf floods our best pastures. Luckily, I have a pasture on the hill, but what will become of us? Buongiorno. Sorry, what's going on? I'm working. I don't have time now, foreigner. Okay. Alright, okay, right. Il contadino. Go greet the farmer next to the school. Cool. Well, I don't actually know where I'm supposed to go, so there we go. Oops. Right. We've gone that way again. How do I get out of here? To get back on the path. Can we have the camera, like, catch up, please? There we go. Thank you. Return. Albergo Buva Posta. You played divinely, my dear. Oh, stop. It's just a hobby. Too modest, Ludovica. It's lovely to look at your hands dancing on the piano keyboard. You're very talented. You're wasted in this little town. In Milan, where I live, you have a future as a pianist. Do you really think so, sir? Didn't we agree to drop the sir? Yeah, camera catch-up was very much like, hello, I'm like the tiny thing over there. Can you come closer, please? I think the pint was kind of like... Breakfast room. Sorry, the breakfast room is closed at the moment. Okay. You probably go to the guest rooms. I don't think I should go upstairs. I know, but I'm trying. I want to know about the paintings. So. Okay. We've got the choice. The coexistence between Italian and German cultures is one of the most complex themes to deal with when it comes to the Alto Adige. In the 1920s, the fascist regime tried to impose Italian culture in the area. For example, in schools it was made compulsory to teach in Italian. Furthermore, many Italians settled in the area, making coexistence between the two cultures uneasy. With the coming of Nazism, the issue became even more complicated. The German residents hoped Hitler would free the area from fascist subjugation, but Hitler needed the allowance with Mussolini. In 1939, with an agreement between Italy and Germany, the so-called options were born. The citizens were allowed the opportunity to obtain German citizenship and move to the territory of the Third Reich, or to stay in Alto Adige to integrate with the Italian culture. The options created many tensions between the majority of the population who decided to emigrate and those who chose to stay. The situation escalated in 1943 when the whole area was occupied by Nazi troops. The Carabinieri. The Italians. The innkeeper. Oh, well, no, that answers that question. The innkeeper was a lady. But I liked my theory better. The madman. I mean, yeah, that sketch is lovely. Did not go really very well with the little pixel person. The cowherd. Teacher. Old friendships. Hello. Okay, fine. Exit. First I have to talk to Heinrich. Oh, well, I would. Oh, hello. Reception bell. There we go. Didn't see that before. Ludovica, stop bothering our guests. Don't bother me at all, Ludovica. Thank you. She plays beautifully, so... Ludovica, can you give me a hand preparing the room for lunch? What's up, Dad? Did you confuse me with a servant? Ludovica, come here right now. I really kind of like the art style. It's growing on me. It's just an interesting combination. But, yeah, I like it. Don't you dare behave this way in front of our guests again. I'm not really a guest. Dad, I'm no longer a little girl. I'm a stowaway, I guess. Good morning, mein Herr. Can I do anything for you? The hotel is full at the moment. I was told you have a very peculiar painting. If you don't mind, I'd like to see it. Is that possible? Certainly. Are you by any chance the foreigner who's staying at Ida's house? How did you know? There are not many people who ask about that painting. Ida must have told you. Come, it's right here. Ooh. It's a mermaid. It's the mermaid, probably. The one that brought me down here. Oh, I love the sky. Reminds me of Starry Night. Carl loved these mountains. He often painted panoramas. She has a familiar shape. Of course, it's Ida. I never saw a man more in love than Carl. Ida was his muse, his inspiration. She always supported him, even when he couldn't sell his paintings and she had to do housework here in the hotel to support the family. Isn't it a beautiful landscape? To think they will ruin this wonder fills me with rage. Oh yes, because of the dam. It will provide electricity to the whole valley. In Bozen they will light bulbs with the energy produced by our lake. The herders will lose a few pastures, but that's how the world spins, after all. So, what do you think? It's a nice painting, isn't it? Really very suggestive. I'm happy to hear it. It's my favourite painting. Many of my clients wanted to buy it, but I've never wanted to part with it. You know, Carl was my protégé. I sold many of his works to my welcome guests. Here in town, sadly, he didn't have much of a market. Mountain people are not always open to new things. I, on the other hand, have travelled a lot, though in the end my longing for our house prevailed, and here I am. I sent my daughter to study in a Swiss boarding school, however, to let her breathe a different air, you understand. I feel like he's missing Carl. The husband... I hope someone's going to tell me at some point. Tell me about it. I've had my fair share of guests, believe me, but no one had the nerve to woo my daughter with such impudence. Excuse me, like that Guarini. His name is Bernardo Guarini, official of Montecatini Spa and director of the dam works. My dear Ludovica, I gave her everything, a good education, fashionable clothes, an expensive piano. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why is she acting like this? What is she missing? She always says she wants to get away from here. Maybe I was about to mind my own business. I don't want to seem rude, but Ida is waiting for me. Sorry, as you probably noticed, I'm not a man of few words. Come back and see us again. You're always welcome here at the Traubelposter. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. A new drawing as well. Can we talk to this dude? Yes, official. Excuse me. Great Hans. Afternoon, Dan and Milo. Yes, this is A Painter's Tale, Curon, 1950. I'm actually liking the art style. It's an interesting combination. Wasn't what I was expecting. What I was expecting. I wasn't sure what to expect, mainly because there's a combination of art styles, it seems. But I like it. It's a cute little story so far. Great Hans, that girl is really wasted in a small town like this, don't you agree, sir? Of course you do. How could you think otherwise? That girl is a peach, a real peach. I fully agree with you, Mr. Gorini, Engineer Bernardo Gorini. Nice to meet you. I'm Damasco. I'm not a music expert. Actually, I'm in a different line of work, but just a few notes were enough to recognize that the girl is really talented. I noticed it right away as soon as I set foot in this hotel. When I'm not working, I come here to the lobby to listen to her. It relaxes me and simultaneously stimulates my senses. Now, if you don't mind, I have to get back to work. Goodbye. See you later. Okay, cool. Right. We'll go. Though, actually, can we go in the lunchroom? Now we could talk to the girlie. Just didn't want to miss out on anything. There might be a sketch as well. Lodovica. Good morning. You must be Lodovica, aren't you? I heard you at the piano, and I must commend you. Thanks, you flatter me. Do you really think I could be a pianist? That would be wonderful. The whole city would come to hear me play, and they'd give me fragrant bouquets of roses. It's a dream. Cool. Okay. I didn't actually get any thingy, but sure. It's always best to check. Oh, excuse me. It's not the game, it's me. Just gonna have a peek. I've got 4 achievements. So end of Act 1, end of Act 2. There are 3 acts. Plus home. I mean, we technically just did that, but maybe there's a second part. Oh, Guarini. Okay. Solve the first minigame without errors. Teresa Ma. I got a bloop. It said explore the cemetery, and I was like, it's there. Good morning. Griguste seiste du Maria, wurde Gnade der Eres mit dir. Du bist Gebänderheit unter die Frauen, und Gebänderheit ist die Frucht deines Lebens, Jesus. Yep, what she said. Morning, Father. Welcome, my son. I'm glad you came to me. Thanks. Thanks for taking care of me. If it weren't for you and Ida. Speaking of Ida, there are some things I think you should know about her and her husband, Carl. I confess, Father, that I am very impatient to meet him. From the way Ida describes Carl, he seems to be a very special person, and his paintings tell me the same. My son, Carl, passed away. The war took him along with many of our beloved fellow citizens. But how is that possible? Ida would have told me. And which war is he talking about? I know what you're thinking. See, Ida has never accepted the notion that Carl passed away. At the beginning, I encouraged her to hope to believe in his return too. But it's now been 4 years since that terrible war. All who left for the front have returned, but not Carl. 4 years? What the hell is happening here? If she at least received confirmation of his death, this is way much worse. Missing. I would have never believed that hope itself could reveal such a diabolical face. Ida might look strong, but Carl's absence is breaking her heart. And with every day that passes, I ask myself how long she can resist. Poor Ida, it must be terrible waiting for someone you love in vain. She keeps living alone in that house, waiting for him to come back. She does small sewing jobs for a living, and sometimes Heinrich still manages to sell a painting. But it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet, and that miserable indemnification they gave us for the pastures will only be enough for a few months. Oh, right, the dam. Modernity has a cost, my son, and unfortunately it's our herdsmen who will pay it dearly. Father, I'd really like to do something to help Ida. That woman saved my life, and I'm really grateful for the generosity she's shown in hosting me. To her, I'm just a stranger, but she didn't hesitate a second to rescue me and give me shelter. Tomasco, can I speak to you frankly? As a priest, I have a duty to protect my parishioners, especially in their moment of need. I mean, yeah, an entire town got drowned. Hi, BX! We somehow got sent back to the past by a mermaid. So, yeah. Raid? Does it raid? Or are you just using... Have a great day, Mr. Corners. You take care. Or did you just want to do the little animaty marchy emote? Because I really like how that one turned out. Nida's generosity is moving, but I'm not naive and I know the temptations of human nature. A man with a lonely girl. As long as I'm her guest, I'll do what I can to help her. Of course, but remember that even Carl's not here. She lives as if you were, and you have to respect it. Do you understand? Sorry, Father, I was speaking without malice, and I can assure you. Be careful, that's all. Now I'd better go. Goodbye, Father. Godspeed, my son. Auf Wiedersehen. Bell tower, that bell tower, the war, Carl missing. All those antiques. What's happening to me? I don't understand. Am I dreaming? Ouch, my head is spinning. I better sit down for a second. Tomasco! Oh mein Gott, are you okay? Ida, then this is not a dream. What? A dream? I didn't see you come back, so I got worried and came to look for you. I'm fine, don't worry. Are you sure? Do you want to stay seated for a while longer? It's okay, Ida. I got lightheaded for a moment, that's all. Let's go home. I'd like to rest a bit. Tomasco, how do you feel? It seems better, grazie. While you were out earlier, I pressed your clothes. There's also your bag and your drawings. I set them out to dry in the sun. Listen, Tomasco, about those. I found one that upset me very much. Damn Italiano. Another one of their incomprehensible signs. What might this one say? Maybe Tomasco could help us. He's Italian. Stay out of this, foreigner. Italians are already causing enough damage here. We're on it. Okay. Okay. Cittadini di Curon. The authorities order the general eviction of the town by the end of this video game next summer. It has been decided that the waters will no longer be lowered, previously communicated, but by 5 meters, but by 22 meters. Therefore, we inform the citizenry of the immediate flooding of the whole town of Curon. You must abandon your hats, your houses, your ideas, your houses, and release the prisoners, the cabinets, pastures, and stables. Let's call the teacher. Okay. Trees. Okay. So the authorities order the general evacuation by the end of next summer. It decided the waters will no longer be raised as previously communicated by 5 meters, but by 22 meters. Therefore, we inform the citizens of the immediate flooding of the whole area of Curon. You must abandon your houses and release pastures and stables. I think that's right. Mr. Teacher, is the translation correct? Yes, looks correct. Men and women of Curon. Cool. That was the profession translator. Men and women of Curon. The authorities ordered the general eviction of the town by the end of next summer. It has been decided that the waters will no longer be raised as previously communicated by 5 meters, but by 22 meters. Therefore, we inform the citizenry of the immediate flooding of the whole area of the town of Curon. You must abandon your houses and release your pastures and stables. No, it can't be. I don't believe it. Tomasco, come here. They will throw us out. What's going to happen to our houses? Cows. So we're actually in Curon, and this is the submerged bell tower. How is that possible? Did I end up in the past, in 1949, Curon? Oh, hi, Subterfuge! It must surely be a dream, otherwise how could I understand all these people who speak German? And if it isn't a dream, how can I get back? This is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about earlier. I found this drawing in your bag. Isn't this our bell tower? Our valley flooded? And why this date, 2020? Tomasco, what does all this mean? They lied to us. They told us that we would only lose our pastures, but the water will devour our entire town. Fellow villagers, we have to try and stop this injustice. I'll go to the Pope. He will listen to us. I'll also write to the government in Rome. We have to try and block the work on the dam in every way possible. They will submerge the town. Curon is lost. Carl will never find our home again. Carl won't be able to come back. Be careful, foreigner. The priest has support in Rome, but in the end you may not be able to get back home. his plan works, you'll find no lake on the way, and your reality will lead you further away. Then again, there's a desperate woman just waiting to find relief. Who knows, you could follow this road and a life of love in the past achieve. Maybe this is the fate that before you lies, so try to be wise. I don't even know what... Let's have a look at achievements. Don't think it particularly matters, so I'm going to follow Ida, because she's been nice to me. Doors closed, we met Chief gone. Ida, you're here. I was looking for you. All this will end, and instead of houses, people and animals of Curon, there will only be water. Carl will never come back. Father Alfred told you about that, didn't he? Carl left for the war and never came back. He's missing, they say. I don't even have a grave where I can even lay a flower. Both in limbo, Carl and I. We often came up here to sit near the little church of St. Anne. We love looking at the valley together. This is our bench. Okay. Sign. The first reservoir project envisaged the rise in lake water to a depth of 5 meters, a level that would not have put the villagers of Curon and Rezia in any danger. In 1939, they decided to increase this level from 5 to 22 meters without consulting the citizenry. A sign in Italian was erected to inform the inhabitants who didn't know the language well enough to understand, adding insult to injury. The Second World War inevitably brought a stop to the work. The populations of Curon and Rezia trusted in the abandonment of the project, but unfortunately this did not last. In 1947, the work restarted, and in 1950, the area was completely flooded, not without numerous complaints by the citizens. Curon's parish priest, Alfred Ripa, asked for and even obtained a hearing with the Pope, Pio XII. Every effort to raise political awareness was in vain. A good 150 families were displaced, and 677 hectares of land were flooded by the water. Next to the famous bell tower stood the church of St. Catherine of Alexandria, dating back to 1832. The church was destroyed before the flooding along with the rest of the village. There's another church that survived, which is still open today, the little church of St. Anne, a beloved place in our story for Ida and Carl. The little Gothic church was opened in 1321. On its external facade, a fresco from 1600 of St. George the Martyr is still visible. Inside the church is a Renaissance altar of 1596, with depictions of the Holy Family, the Annunciation, and the Saints James, John the Baptist, and Agnes. Access in the church requires following a small path easily reachable from the parking spot in front of the submerged bell tower. From the church, a nice lake panorama can be enjoyed. Among the trees, it is possible to make out the bell tower, as well as the new graveyard. Who knows if the bench of Ida and Carl is still there? We've got the official, town life, Ludovica, and Heinrich. And we picked up Rhapsody. We don't have any objectives right now, so... You knew that it would happen. That drawing I found in your bag, I thought it was just a result of your imagination. I don't know who you are or where you came from, but what does it matter now? Ida, I'd like to change things. I'd like everything to be as it was before. These things can only be done by the Almighty. And what if without the lake I couldn't get back? And who are we to challenge fate? Tomasco? See, Ida, I don't want to leave. End of Act 1. End of Act 1. that red X on the house of the bench woman? Journey of Father Alfred to Rome hasn't gone as we hoped. What can we do now? I like that, Damasco, and you always speak ill of the Italians. Did you see they're starting to level the mountains a little higher up to build the shacks? Bitter, just give me patience and you will all be moved to the new pasture, not pasta. The pasta is tasty. Mein Gott, heaven forbid some accident would happen during the protest march. On Judgment Day, they won't be able to get through the concrete. Our dead, all that cement covering the tombs. Time flies. It's been 6 months already. You don't live poorly here in Curon. It took a while to settle in, though, to tell you the truth. I want to lend a hand to the Curonese to help them save the town. Ida took care of me, and I can only be grateful to her. But if changing things means I couldn't get back home again, I don't know what to do. Act 2, Autumn 1949. Will this take much longer, Tomasco? Not much, just adding the finishing touches. Don't turn your head, though. Ah, my leg's gone to sleep. Stay still, Sue. You're cruel, Tomasco, cruel. Curse my agreeing to pose. But how could I say no? You're just like home. Just a little more patience, Ida. I'm almost finished. The painting added. Do I really look like that to you? You paint to see the world in a very special way. You know what? I like it. Tomasco, yesterday I met Ludovica. She was so angry. She says her father went to see the shacks and they're really too small. She says they'll only have one bedroom, a little kitchen, and maybe a small garden if I'm lucky. Mein Gott, how have we managed to put everything in there? Maybe destiny is not immutable, Ida. Padre Alfred could still manage to stop all this. Your drawing. Only the bell tower remained of Curon, nothing else. Our houses, our pastures, everything destroyed. What can a Father Alfred do against the future already written? Maybe I didn't get here by chance. Maybe I can do something. Even if it meant you could never get back home. I've never felt at home like I do here now. Oh, Tomasco, I'm so happy about that. Ida, Alarm! Mein Gott, did someone die? Worse, much worse. An accident? A landslide? Nein, it's the crazy Italiana, the Carabinieri. I was at the inn and heard them talking. Garino, the official, was also there. Steele, they said, but from behind the door I couldn't make out the rest. Wouldn't he have just shut himself in the bathroom once again? But what might remain to steal? Didn't they already take everything from us? To the inn, quick, schnell. Tomasco, you're the only one among us who knows the language well enough to talk with the Carabinieri. Other than the teacher, but we can't bother her. She's at school. Tranquila, don't worry. I'll find out what this is about. I only get to keep a few cows, I'll have to sell the others. With the indemnity payment, I won't be able to buy enough hay and build a new stable big enough for all of them. I really cannot think about parting with them. Sophie, Maria, have you ever been to Maran? It seems so far away. Damasco, it's you. If you pass by later, I have some fresh milk to give Ida. Go to the inn. It must be in here. Come here, Bella Biondo. Pour me a drink. Get the good wine, not that garbage your husband pawns off on us. Why don't you stop and drink with us? Nein, danke. I have other clients to serve too. You're not the only ones here. Those 4 mountaineers? Stay with us. We'll have fun. It's a struggle to deal with these Italians. They pay well, so we can't just send them around. Right, Liebster? So must have broken. Since these guys arrived, it's been the end of our peace. They scream, they drink, constantly bother us as torture. Cocoa, in front of the Germans, the traitor to his country. Why don't you come drink with us? You'll surely get bored with those crowds. Ow. I was gonna have a stretch. Oh, okay. That crack was not a good crack. I don't like it when crack out. Oh. Who pays? You're paying, right? Ha! It is funny. Viens, viens. Sit. Host, fixes the drink. You're playing my cards, right? Maybe I can get some useful information. All right, ragazzo, what do you drink? Wine. A glass of wine, grazie. Great, water is bad and wine makes you sing. They seem to be drinking wine, that was one. Your name is Tomasco, Vero. It's easy to remember. Nothing like Franz, Hans, Jürger. They can't even be pronounced, let alone remembered. Yeah, see, but in the end one name is worth the same as another. It takes all kinds to make a world. Whatever. Let's hear it. Don't you think these works are wonderful? Great works. The only thing great I see is the arrogance with which these changes are imposed, with no care for the inhabitants of the town. What insolence, this Tomasco. Hey, I got an achievement for it, though. You may be the only authentic Italian here besides us, but you didn't accomplish much by blending in with these mountaineers. And if you really want to know amongst these people, there is someone more clever than you, smartass. Someone who gets the importance of the project and has been able to develop a relationship with us. I mean Ludovica, the engineer's friend, a nice girl, cunning even. She gave us great help with the bell tower's key. Garina will now be up to melt his bell and maybe offer us a drink. Mario, shh! You better shut up and drink, lass. It was Ludovica who helped Garina. How could she betray Curon? To get back to Ida and the others immediately. Where's the dog? Are you sure you understood properly? Of course I'm sure, and I'm certainly not crazy. They actually said steal. What could they steal from us now? They've already taken everything from us. The bell. Tomasco, you're back. Did you speak with the Carabinieri? See, unfortunately, I haven't got good news. The official wants to take the bell, to melt it and make good money. While you were away, Padre Corino managed to get hold of the bell tower key with help from someone in town. Should I tell them it was Ludovici? I don't think I ever read that the bell was stolen. Maybe I should prevent the theft so that everyone goes as it should, but if I get too involved and I risk changing things even further and not being able to get back home. What a mess. Ludovici. I'm afraid that person was Ludovici. It seems she and Garina had a secret affair. Ludovici, I can't believe this. How could she? She'd be accomplice of such an insult to the town. But it can't be farther. We should absolutely go talk with her. We will, Ida, but in due time. As you well know, there are graver things I have to deal with now. Your attempts to block the project weren't successful, Padre? Unfortunately not, Tomasco. As I was saying to Ida, the damn project has already been approved and it cannot be stopped. Curon is lost. We can't do anything but resign ourselves to it and have faith in God. The bell tower will be safe, however. They say it's part of our cultural heritage and should be left standing. A bell tower without a bell doesn't do any good. It's useless. In fact, nutzlos. Simply crazy. Our houses, our town, aren't they worthy enough to those men from Roma? Carl, how painful it would be for you to see your town humiliated and plundered like this. No, I can't. I won't stand it. Sorry. Go to her, Tomasco. Make sure she's okay. Ludovica, if she did it, she will answer for it. She betrayed my trust, and I'll deal with her personally. That bell will ring in our new church if the last thing I do. Carl and I got married to the sound of that bell 10 years ago. We were so happy. Then the war took him away from me, and now they're taking all my memories too. And who knows what the future holds for us. If we'll even have a future. Tomasco, look, it's starting to snow. Earlier than usual this year. This winter doesn't bode well at all. A few days later. My daughters, sons, I tried everything to save Curon. Dear God has a plan for us, we must have faith. We're suffering, each of one of us is losing something, but maybe along the way we'll find hope again. We should not give up. I have been assured that our bell tower will be spared. Sophie, Maria, can you imagine a bell tower in the middle of the water? I really can't. And these works are severely putting us to the test. Try to be faithful, to have patience. Even if you think it's unfair, incomprehensible, have faith in God. We'll manage to overcome these obstacles together. Engineer Garino told me more workers will arrive in the coming months. Be welcoming as always, despite everything. I can't stand the idea of that horrible man taking away our bell. We have to do something, Tomasco. But what can we do, Ida? Cosa fa? We confront him. Garino has the carabinieri on his side, and he never leaves the hotel without protection. I thought of a plan. What if we convince Father Alfred to go talk to Ludovic and Heinrich immediately? You can sneak inside the official's room and take back the key Ludovic stole for him. Let's do it. Let's do it. Garino is on site today. If we are careful, he won't notice a thing. If you're uncertain, Ida, then I'll help you, but we have to be very careful. Dear brothers, dear fellow citizens, for any need, even just a word of comfort, do not hesitate to join me in the church. Gott, Stein and Beis. Father, don't you think it's high time to talk to Ludovicia? That poor girl has clearly lost the way of the Lord, but maybe we're still in time to save her from the plans of that ruthless official. You're right, Ida. There's no reason to postpone this conversation any longer. Let's go to the hotel. Are you coming with us, Tomasco? Tomasco, Ida, remember this delicate question. After all, we have no proof of Ludovic's involvement, only the gossip of some military men. It's also true that being an organist, the girl always has easy access to the church, and she could have taken the bell tower key during my absence to make a copy. But be careful not to make a hasty judgment. Just think about how poor Heinrich would react to such a scandal. We must be very, very tactful. You're right, Father. But what anguish? If Garino really does have a copy of the key, I want to see how far he gets. The arrogant bully. Ludovica, what were you thinking? Bist du wahnsinnig? To accompany a stranger who disrespects your father by not even bothering to ask for consent? A Casanova who seduced my daughter under my own nose with no shame at all? You didn't realize, Dad, I'm a woman now. I don't need your permission anymore, and I can make my own decisions. I'm going to Milano with Garino, and I'll become a pianist, whether you like it or not. What fool, do you really think he's interested in your talent? I met a lot of men like him, Ludovica. Older men who pursue young pretty girls to escape their advanced stage. What would a marriage like that give you, my daughter? Life. I'm sick of living in a town that stinks of death. If you really care about me, Dad, why did you laugh when I asked you to leave this place and open a hotel in the city with the money from the indemnity payout? Ludovica, why did you bother making me study at a Swiss boarding school if you want me to live as a slave? Ludovica, don't you dare talk like that to your father. Father Alfred, Ida, Tomasco, help me out. Ludovica's gone crazy. And Milani's Garino has put strange ideas in her mind, and now she tells me she wants to leave Curon with him. Please, Bata, talk some sense into her. Ludovica, my child, is it true what your father is saying? It's true, and I'm not ashamed at all. I really don't understand what's wrong with it. Ludovica, how can your man love the man who's destroying our town, our homes? Talk like he's the one who decided to build the dam here in Curon when he's only doing his job. Ludovica, marriage is a serious thing. You think more should think more before committing yourself to being tied down in a relationship, leaving your home. What do we know about him? Nothing at all. Just for months he's been sitting here in a chair smoking cigars, all happy. In the meantime, he's been taking everything we built and earned with this hard work away. From us. Ludovica, Gott bewahre. Listen to your father. Okay, cool. Heinrich is distracted. This is the right moment. I first need the key to Garino's room. Okay. What room would it be? Oh. Guest register, roommate. Here's the key. A painting from Carl. Figure in the background, you really couldn't help but portray his wife. He's Melanie's dress well, but his pockets are empty. key, but hey, Espleta, what's this letter? Caro Bernardo, I'm happy to hear you're doing well. Only you could dig up a pretty and well-educated girl in a town of cowherds and peasants, but let's get to it. I found you a modest flat in Milan on Corso Garibaldi that would be perfect for her. It's not very big, but it's well furnished and above all discreet. Oh, but be careful and don't get caught by your wife. If she leaves you, she will appear outside my door with her children. Your affectionate brother-in-law, Fruccio. You cad. Poor Ludovica. She's convinced that Grino wants to marry her. Who knows when he intends to tell the truth at one. Maybe the news of this treason will be enough to persuade her to give the copy of the key back to Padre Alfred. Just a Bible. Read the letter. It'll be too easy, nothing magical. There's no key here. Get back downstairs. Okay, well, let's switch off the lights, because otherwise that'll be really obvious what we were doing in here. Ludovica, is it true that Curon convinced you to steal the bell tower key? How could you betray us like this, Ludovica? Ludovica, can I talk to you for a moment? I have something important to tell you. So Bernardo is married? No, I can't believe it. You're lying to me. What did I tell you, my dear? I know these kinds of men. Don't lose heart, Ludovica. At least you avoided the scandal. Give back the copy of the key and all will be forgiven. You're facing the wrong way, dude. Forgiven a scandal? You're listening to yourself. Don't care about me, my dreams, my ambitions. You just care about your convenience. You're losing your mind trying to save an old relic from a past that doesn't exist anymore. What future can Curon offer us? Ludovica, what are you saying? Bernardo already says that I'm wasted here, buried in a town where no one will ever come, with a father so obtuse he doesn't understand that Curon belongs to the past. Why should I worry about your convenience and sacrifice my talents? Milano seems like a good place to start living again. Surely better than those horrible shacks where you'll live herded in like beasts. Ludovica, wait. Thank you, Riki. It's not your fault, Heinrich. You've always been a good father. Ludovica doesn't know that with the compensation given to us, we couldn't even afford an apartment in the city, let alone buy in a hotel. I didn't have the courage to tell her I was ashamed of not being able to provide for her. She wouldn't have fallen prey to an old official if I hadn't stubbornly decided to stay here. I thought of her future instead of living out a quiet retirement here in the town where I was born. And now it's too late to change things. End of Act 2. Well, that's perfect timing. We will move on to the next game. We'll just take a short break here. Finish the second act of the adventure. So, whilst work on the dam progressed, Curon's inhabitants prepared to leave their houses. It was a long process, and the assigned indemnities proved to be decidedly inadequate to compensate the Curon people for what they were losing. Montecatini Spa built some provisional wood shacks near the village at the entrance to Valunga, intended for all those who had still not found farmhouses to move to. It was inadequate housing, especially considering the harsh winter cold. From those shacks, the powerless displaced citizens could see the building sites for the dam. Their former houses and farms were progressively destroyed. The church was blown up last in July 1950. By then, the water had already started to infringe on the town. In 1949, when the houses were still inhabited, a first damming attempt resulted in some basements being flooded. Even the old cemetery was levelled with bulldozers and covered in concrete. Faced with the citizens' indignations, Montecatini transferred the buried remains to the new cemetery. We have the peasants, and we got the witness, and Ida. I like collecting them. Okay, cool. So, main menu. Right, so what I'm going to do is put the end screen up just to the end of this section of the game. But don't go anywhere. I will take a short break and I will be back with a new game after that short break. So, this was A Painter's Tale, Curon, 1950, which is a cute little... I say cute. The art style was cute. The story was sad. Yeah, the story was kind of sad. Thank you to ID Xbox for the code for streaming that. I'll finish that one off stream. If you want to find out the end of the story, you're just going to have to buy it yourself. It's not a massively expensive game, and it's always good to support indie devs. Okay, so thanks for watching this part of the stream. I'll be back in a few minutes.